So do Gimmick golf clubs work? We're seeing a lot of Gimmick golf clubs, but do they actually work? Are they going to make us better golfers? Let's have a look at this video and find out. So I've got two clubs here that I want to talk to you today about. One's a wedge and one's a putter. But as I say, there's a lot of Gimmick golf clubs there. There's the one like here we see, the putter that stands up on his own and you can go behind, have a look, see where you're lined up and actually go in and stroke it. There's the other ones here, like this firing golf club that I tried with Rick Shields that, you know, is a little bit gimmicky, but it could actually help people play golf. If you're struggling and you've got a disability, that might be a way for you to play golf. But there's certain clubs that are aimed at us getting better at golf, but sometimes they're not. You see things like the big wedges with like a chipper sort of style to them, and they just are solving a problem of sorts but don't actually solve our technique, as where these two clubs that I've got, the GForce Golf Wedge and this even roll putter, are actually aimed at us solving our technique. Let's take a look at them, and we're going to do a little bit of a test at the end as well to see if they actually have sorted my technique out, so stay tuned for that. But firstly, the GForce Wedge, what's it about? Well, it's actually a superior bendy golf club, a super bendy golf club. When I waggle it around, we see a lot of movement in there, and it is something that as you're over the golf ball, it feels really loose and wobbly. So as I stand here, it's all about the tempo training with this, because when we think of a bad picture of the golf ball or a bad chipper, you might be one yourself, or you might have played with someone who, as they actually stand over a pitch, they look so uncontrolled that they get a lot of this going on, where they stab it, and the backswing and the through swing isn't like what we see on TV, where we watch the pros and they look like they're just gathering the ball up. There's a really nice rhythm to it. But is it all just a gimmick? Is this bendy shaft going to help me change my tempo? Well, what it aims to do, it's helping me stop that big jolt at the golf ball. If I try and make the swing and I did feel that, the club head actually bends in front of the ball and I get a really bad strike. What I actually have to learn to do with this club is feel that I try and keep the shaft as I'm swinging as stable as possible. I don't want to feel this bend in it. Like I say, it is superior bendly, and if I put any pressure on the handle of the golf club, we start to feel it whip. So what I've got to learn to do is loosen that grip up and feel I keep it stable to actually help me hit little chip shots just like that one. Gorgeous little pitch, and the shaft felt really stable as I'm going through it. So in terms of like gimmick or useful, I would say this is actually very useful. I spent half an hour with a chap the other day in a lesson just chipping little shots off with this, and he went from pretty much duffing and topping every chip to walking out thinking he was almost Seve Ballesteros, because all he started to do was get in control of his tempo, bit like that one, nearly went in, and he started to pitch it away really lovely. Actually had a nice motion and started to get these lovely little shots out with the golf ball. So first part of the question, gimmick or is it useful? I would say something like this is actually useful. And the reason for this video, I just want people not to get duped into thinking a club's going to solve everything for them, when some of them don't and some of them do. If we're looking in the right places, we will find the right club for us. So I think this as a training aid is fantastic. It's really good. So let's head up to the green now and take a look at this little putter, and then, like I say, at the end of the video, I'm going to challenge myself to see if I can get up and down 3 times to see if they actually are useful. But let's take a look at this putter. Okay, so the putter, the even roll tour stroke, looks nice from this angle, looks pretty decent. If I turn it this way, that is one heck of a neck on it. And the reason that this one's been built is all about people who get very wristy in the putting stroke. You'll probably again play with someone, or it might be yourself, who when you putt, you feel that your hands don't actually move at all in terms of swinging from side to side. It's more your wrists that are doing everything, and you find it very hard to control distance. You find actually that your strike's a little bit erratic. And the reason behind this one is we actually have a look at it. As we put the golf club in now, we would see that the shaft is actually in front of the golf ball there. And the idea is that what we want to try and do is we get the middle of the shaft here over the middle of the golf ball as I align it. So as I put it in now, we see it's actually about an inch away from the back of the golf ball. And the reason for this is I've got to try and feel that I keep the shaft in front of the head the whole time. I'm not letting my wrists get flicky. I want to try and keep the lines on the putter working in this straight manner as I go through it. So as I'm here, I would feel then that my left wrist, for me as a right-handed golfer, would be very flat as I come through. I'm not getting really flicky. So as I actually hit some, I set up with the shaft pointing into the middle of the golf ball and the putter head about an inch behind, and then it trains me to actually start rolling it just like so. So there I feel very wooden as I actually hit the putt. So I'd be here, get the ball lined up, it feels an inch behind, and it trains me to start feeling that. Can't hold a bean today, but would help if I read it. But again, in terms of like a gimmick, you would pick this up and think, what is that putter? It looks so freaky. But if we understand the reasoning behind it, we can actually start to utilize it and get into a good position, and we change our technique. Instead of just trying to buy a golf club to fix a problem, in terms of buying a gimmicky one, we can actually get something that's very useful like so, hit one more with it an inch behind, and I feel there, almost feels like I'm punching my putts. But then this one, I can actually use this in tournament play. All I would do is when I come to do it now, I feel that as I set it up, I get the club next to the golf ball and the shaft is almost in front of the golf ball. And as I hit it, I try and keep it in the same manner. And I start to feel now that this left wrist is actually getting into a position where I'm not getting scoopy. So in terms of gimmick and useful, these two are definitely useful golf clubs. They're going to train my technique and get me better. Let's see though, let's put it to a little bit of the test. Can I get up and down 3 times around this golf hole in less than 7 shots? I'm giving myself 1 bogey, but can we do it? 3 different locations, can we up and down it with the Gimmick golf clubs? So we're going to throw them in 3 different locations, just off the edge of the green there. We'll go 1 that way as well. We'll go over to this one. I've got to chip up and then try and hold the putt there as I'm going through it. So first shot, can we get it done in less than 7 strokes using these 2 Gimmick golf clubs? And definitely how I've chipped with this so far, those earlier shots that we've seen, I would say I fancy my chances. I think that I will be able to, because it's really training my technique here, seeing that I get a good setup and a good action. Tell you what, got a tap in the lad. It's literally, he's got a tap in. He's got a tap in. Let's go and actually tap it in. See if I can do it with the crazy looking putter. It's a strange thing pitching with one of these, but it's working definitely, because I would take that one every time. So I'm actually going to use this as if I was using it like a training aid. I'm going to place it behind each time, that inch behind the golf ball like so, and use it how it's supposed to be used. Nice, easy. There's 2 shots. Let's head on to the next one. And like I say, the reason for the video was to see, you know, some golf clubs are gimmicky. We will find that they're tending to say that they can do some things, but generally they're not helping us. But if we get the right one and we see a little bit of info on it before and we understand how it's used and it's going to change and help us better our technique, I think these clubs are actually very, very useful. Now, this shot is a very, very hard one. I've got to open it up a bit more, so I've really got to be in control of the technique here. But I land it just on the top of the slope. And I tell you what, for a short-sided chip with a bendy golf club, that is not bad at all. Let's go and see if we can hold the putt though. So I dress it how it's meant to be, inch behind. Oh! I thought I had it. I thought I'd made the world's greatest up and down with a bendy golf club and a dodgy looking putter that actually really works. The roll on it though is so good if you can use that sometimes. Okay, last one. I need to up and down this to complete my challenge. I'm feeling confident. It's a pretty simple chip here. I actually feel like I could chip this in. So, little chip in. Come on, be nice to me. Go on then, go on. Oh! Not a bad effort there, nearly chipped in. So for me, I do think, like I say, picking the right Gimmick golf club, yes, they are useful, but do your research, make sure you're using it in the right way and it's actually a club that's going to change your technique. Don't just buy them to try and actually solve a problem and still have the same technique. See that it's actually helping you out. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. For me, are Gimmick golf clubs useful? Yes, like I say, if you bought the right one that's going to change your technique, don't buy them to solve problems. Guys, thanks for watching this video. See you in the next one.